because our first guest of the day is ready, we're talking about
Ay, sorry, may guest pala.
Duterte
That-
at the
sorry.
ICC, at the International Criminal Court. Let's bring in our guest. We've got ICC-accredited lawyer, Attorney Joel Butuyan. Attorney Butuyan, thanks for joining us. Welcome back to Storycon.
Good
Hi,
afternoon.
attorney.
Kamusta,
afternoon,
attorney? Good to
Ricky.
talk to you finally.
Sir, we called you in because there's a bit of confusion over the interim release, no? So over the weekend, itong defense counsel ni President Duterte, Nicholas Kaufman, filed a petition asking the ICC to suspend their decision on the interim release. To which the prosecutor replied they were saying that they haven't been getting information in a timely manner from the prosecutor daw. To which the prosecutor naman for their part pushed back as well. I mean, how do we read this? How do we make sense of this?
Alam mo, Regina, nakakatawa, no? Because to me, it's like a teka-teka motion or an atras-abante motion, no? The defense moved for interim release, and then when the prosecution filed its response, biglang they want to suspend, no? The issues in an interim release are whether or not Duterte is a flight risk, whether or not the victims would be at risk, no? They would be endangered if he's released, and the evidence would be compromised, and whether or not Duterte will commit more crimes if he's released, no? And it appears that the defense is making a big issue out of whether or not there is a country that is willing to take him in, no? If the interim release is granted. But you know, the issue of whether or not there is a country willing to take him in is at the bottom of the totem pole of issues. The three main issues are the ones that I cited earlier. And when you make a motion, you should already be sure that these three basic premises of interim release are in your favor, no? So you cannot say that we still have to wait on whether or not there is a country willing to accept him. You have to prove first the three basic, the most fundamental reasons for an interim release. And besides, the issue of whether or not the prosecution agreed to this and that condition, you know, that's immaterial because ultimately it's going to be the pretrial chamber, the judges who have to decide the issue. It cannot be, an interim release cannot be the subject of a compromise or an agreement just between the defense and the prosecution.
Right.
It's the judges who will decide, regardless of the agreement, no, of the prosecution and defense.
His lawyers have actually made manifestations as far as we know. They cited, for instance, his advanced age. He is 80 now, as compelling humanitarian grounds for interim release. Tapos, they also said, of course, he's no longer the head of state, so he is would not command the same influence. And then he also promised to limit communication and engagement to just within his family. So, hindi pa po ba nasa-satisfy yung three grounds that you're talking about?
Hindi pa rin nasa-satisfy, Regina, no? Because yung history niya talagang from the very beginning, he has denied that the ICC has jurisdiction over him. He has even threatened physically with bodily injuries any ICC representative who comes to the country, no? And his supporters have been doing actions that really belie the intention to make Mr. Duterte come home to the Philippines. Kaya nga may Bring Him Home campaign sa ICC, no? Sa The Hague and sa buong Europa nga. And alam mo, if he is going to be released now, even on an interim basis, even if he's going to be released in any country in Europe, at this point, na-disclose na sa defense yung mga identities ng mga witnesses and the victims involved. Okay? Ang nangyayari ngayon, since naka-detain siya, hindi niya po pwedeng ma-leak yung mga identities ng mga yan, no? Because his communication with his family are monitored sa detention facility. Now he's going to be released and he's going to stay in a house or an apartment or condominium. Someone is going to be there to take care of him, supposedly, no? And he's going to be visited by family. So he will have the chance to leak the names of the witnesses and the victims, no? Madali na niyang kasi hindi na monitor yan dahil naka-release siya. No, so it's going to really endanger witnesses and victims at this point if he's going to be released.
Attorney, yung nakikita ko mga defense niya, parang malakas-lakas yung sa humanitarian ground dahil 80 na nga siya. Pero hindi ba pwedeng counter-argument yung bakit ka naging mayor kung mahina ka na? Meron mga nagsasabi din ng gano'n na, well, if you're capable of running for mayor and you think you can still run a city, bakit invoke mo ngayon yung age na sa ganyang kaso? I mean, is that a valid argument? Kasi meron din mga nagsasabi ng gano'n.
It's a very valid argument, Ami. Saka 3 months ago, nagpunta siya ng Hong Kong, nag-shopping siya, nagsalita siya before a crowd for almost an hour. And umuwi siya on his own. So, wala namang issue, no? Ngayong na-arresto siya and dami-dami sinasabing issue, no? Now, even if he's 80 years old, that fact alone will not suffice, no? And wala namang ini-invoke na any medical emergency or urgency. And in fact, may capacity naman yung ICC detention facility to address any such medical urgency or emergency, no? So I don't think that's going to be an issue, no, that will be in his favor.
So yung appeal nila pala hindi binanggit yung mga chronic diseases niya kasi when he was president, binanggit naman niya, siya mismo nagsabi, he has Buerger's disease. Tatlo yun, di ba? Yung isa dito na kapag hindi properly maintained, could become critical illnesses. Wala siyang ganung binabanggit sa appeal niya for interim release.
Wala naman tayong nakikitang binabanggit na ganun. Although medyo redacted yung mga grounds niya, pero even sa mga statements ng kanyang family members, sinasabing si Vice President Sara mismo, sinasabing umayat siya, pero otherwise healthy siya, na parang nabawasan pa nga yung maintenance medicine niya, no? So mukhang wala namang medical issue that would really justify an interim release. And if ever na medical issue yan, dapat sa hospital, no? Pero ang kanilang sinasabi is house arrest, no? So ibig sabihin hindi medical issue.
Attorney, to what degree is this about also the psychological condition of the president? Because he's not enjoying the same kind of social privileges he was enjoying. So it's not just about his physical health, but access to a lot of people that he cannot access now because only family and lawyers can access him. And more importantly, to what degree is this also about the public relations aspect of the Kaufman office? Is this about them just trying to show some sort of a KPI? Because they seem to be compensated well, so they have to show something. And we even heard that Kaufman may have been even involved in communications between, was it Prime Minister Netanyahu's office and also,
really?
Yes, and Karim Khan. There was even a report that, yeah, I mean, this, in short, this is a person who does a lot of things aside from just lawyering for alleged ICC criminals.
So, to add to Richard's question, attorney, I read somebody wrote an analysis on this and they said, I don't remember who, but they said something like, baka yung strategy niya is to throw everything at the wall and
see what sticks.
And one day, one of these motions will be successful, right? So right now, he's just filing motion after motion after motion, or complaint after
to
complaint.
justify the pay.
Right.
I mean, to what degree is this is all a brouhaha, a KPI, return on investment brouhaha?
Well, those are actually valid observations, Richard and Regina. And I think this issue is being milked, no, for its political purposes, no. It's going to be this way, I can foresee, until 2028, no, because it's really a rallying point for the Duterte supporters.
And attorney, just to add to this, to what degree should the argument that we should rejoin ICC play into this? Because some are saying, had we not withdrawn under Duterte unilaterally under ICC, there would have been more mechanisms to be able to provide, I don't know, the most ideal situation for everyone involved in this. I mean, does this strengthen the argument that we should rejoin the ICC?
Yes, we should really rejoin the ICC because if we were still a member of the ICC, in fact,
Right.
An interim release in the Philippines would be on the table because you cannot be released to a
Exactly.
non-member country. No, so it's actually a disadvantage to us. But I think we really should resume membership because these kinds of crimes that were committed during the Duterte administration, they recur. To give you an example, the Sabongero issue, no, that can be crime against humanity considering the number of people that were killed, no. So there is really this culture that we really have to address.
Impunity,
Crime,
yeah.
despicable crimes that amount to crime against humanity should really be prosecuted. And if our domestic judicial system cannot have the capacity to prosecute them, there should be recourse to an international body like the ICC.
And Attorney, how does this play also into that, what's that, Rodrigo Duterte bill? This whole repatriation brouhaha by our legal luminaries. I think this is Robin Hood Padilla and Amy Marcos.
Prevent another so-called extrajudicial rendition.
And obviously also connect this to the case of Senator Bato de la Rosa. I think the Malacanang has already made certain statements that may point in the direction that they're open to cooperating should the warrant of arrest also be released for him.
Yes, I think this is being filed for multiple reasons. And I think the most proximate reason is to really prevent the additional arrest of additional accused, like, as you said, Senator Bato de la Rosa. So this is in aid of allies, no, so to speak, of those who have filed this bill.
June,
But of course, any law like that has to be signed by the president, ano?
That's true. Yes.
Banggitin lang natin
So
yan.
kung may aid, in aid of legislation,
Meron ding in aid of
preventing
allies.
detention, in aid of preventing
meron na rin tayong in aid of allies. I love it.
Tama.
June 12, attorney, is actually the day that Kaufman filed the interim release request, during which he said that there is an undisclosed government with whom they have an advance and principled agreement to receive him. Can you help us understand this? Is it the defense's duty to find a third country when they file for an interim release, or it's the pre-trial chamber, or how does it work?
Well, it doesn't prevent the defense from seeking out a country that would preliminarily agree to host Mr. Duterte, no? But eventually, it's going to be the court that's going to approve because it's going to examine the conditions, whether or not that country would be in a capacity to prevent flight and also to protect Mr. Duterte, no, from any security risk, no. But as I said, it's presumptuous for them to make this as a major and it look like it's a singular issue. The principal issue is whether or not it's going to be a flight risk, whether or not the victims would be in danger. In fact, you know, when there was talk of an interim release, ang dami na natakot na mga biktima, no? They've been in the process of helping victims sign up so that they can participate in the proceedings. And a lot of them, we've heard directly from the victims that they're having second thoughts because of the possibility that he could be released. And dami-dami fake news, and it really affects them, no? So there's re-traumatization on the part of the victims na the fact na this issue of interim release ay lumalabas.
Pero lalakas ba sa case nung appeal for interim release? If there's a country that actually says, okay, we're willing to get him. Halimbawa, sabihin natin, yung si Israel, because there's an arrest warrant ng ICC for Benjamin Netanyahu. Ano ko sabihin niya? O sige, sa amin na muna siya. Habang tinatry siya. Will that strengthen the appeal for interim release?
That will only happen after the court will be satisfied with the three major conditions, Ami, no? And the release would have to be with an ICC member country. Israel is not a member country. And kailangan kasi it has to be near The Hague dahil he will be required to attend the trial.
Go back and forth, yeah.
Yes.
Pinaka-practical dyan will be Belgium, Germany, and even Netherlands. Kung gusto ng Netherlands. So yun yung mga practical talaga and realistic na mga countries na mag-host.
We heard Belgium's already turned down the request or is not said that there's no talks with them or something like that. Australia, we know, said that there's no formal request to them. Balita namin, Belgium then. But you talked about re-traumatization, Attorney Butuyan, wherein the victims are, well, getting re-traumatized because of the possibility si Duterte might get released. What else do you know about the case buildup that you can share with us? We know last we spoke to Attorney Conti, for instance, she said medyo nahihirapan sila a little bit, gathering evidence, gathering the witnesses. How's the case buildup going?
And Attorney, may I add, because the so nice State of the Nation address is coming up soon, should the President also finally say something about this? Because my sense is he's trying to play the ostrich game and pretend this thing never happened. Should the government come in and try to assist ICC in terms of protecting the witnesses, among others, even if we're not rejoining the ICC anytime soon?
Yes, I think the President should really come out, no, categorically, because it's really not helping. And it's confusing a lot of the victims. He should state once and for all. Kasi he says one thing pero he does another thing. No? Sinasabi niyang we will not cooperate, we will do this and that. Pero on the ground, cooperation naman yung nangyari. No? So parang once and for all, pwede bang pagtugmain yung salita sa yung gawa? No? Dahil talagang kailangan ng mga tao yung direction from the President. Right. I can imagine even the police officers and the security officers are confused. No, if there's difference in the message and in the action being undertaken by the government, no?
In the meantime, Attorney, are you getting more witnesses? Kasi you mentioned pati nga yung mga police confused. And I understand some of them had actually sent feelers na magsasalita din sila eh. Pero ngayon, meron pa ba kayo nakukuhang ganon? Right. Na more policemen involved in the drug war are willing to testify? Tuloy-tuloy pa rin ba yun?
Ami, kasi at this point, we've not been appointed as victims counsel, no? Right. Ang nag-gather ng witnesses is the ICC prosecutor kasi siya yung mag-represent ng evidence to prove the criminal aspect of the case. Our participation later on will be on proving the damage, the injuries of the victims, no? So it's the call of the prosecutors on who are going to be the witnesses during the trial that's going to happen. Although after the prosecution presents its evidence, there's going to be a chance for the victims to present some witnesses as well before the defense would present defense evidence.
So, at what stage is that, Attorney, when you get called upon to testify to the extent of the damages?
It's going to be after the prosecution rests its case. So after the prosecution, the victims will present some witnesses, and then after that, the defense will be presenting their defense witnesses. So and I
think
Nawala.
we lost.
Yeah. Hindi siya yung nawala.
Ang tumatayong Victims Council, yung parang in-house ng ICC, which is the Office of the Public Counsel for Victims, OPCV.
Okay, so it's still a long process. We'll leave that there for now. Thank you so much for talking to us today. ICC-accredited lawyer, Attorney Joel Butuyan. Salamat, sir.
Salamat, Attorney.
Thanks, Attorney.
Thank you.